Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, there was a lot to pick from today. There was a lot of titles to sit there and pick from today, but I wanted to go with The Young and the Restless. And of course, tonight's statement, Daniel is arrested for Heather's murder on The Young and the Restless. Now, we all know that evidence is flimsy as F. But we're going to go with it because for some odd reason, that just seems like that makes sense. Now we're going to be simply talking about all the shows today: General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born to Beautiful and Young and Restless. Let's do a quick roll call and get this started. Blackmon, aka Mr. GQ, is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Kristen is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Ronnie Ron is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Amy is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Cherry Ice Cream is in the chat. How you doing tonight? And yeah, that sucks. I get that from time to time, and it's just the worst. It really sucks when I have to wake up really early in the morning. Danny R is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Spiderquake is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Epic Bank is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Crystal is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Jay Blue is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Sans back to next week, but next week will be sad. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, people. Now, as you're coming in, make sure you do hit the like button because it really does help. Also, just keep in mind that I am one person and there is 16 people in this chat so far. So I'm not going to be able to get to every single person. I'm not going to be able to read every single comment, but, you know, just write it again or answer one of your questions and keep moving. All right. So Ron says, "I've been Melinda Trash really put EG down. He knew if that went to court, he was gonna. There was a good possibility he could have won though too, Ron. Juries sometimes really do act off emotions more than logic. Uh, or you didn't see Bo what happened. By the time it got to 6 o'clock, I just realized I couldn't do it. Um, I might do it tonight. I'm not too sure. Um, but I felt like I was kind of rushing for time because something happened with my cable box, and it's like after time in a certain way where it's like if it's off by a little, then it feels like I'm rushing to catch up, and I never want to sit there and rush to do a video. But that's why. So I figured I was like, you know what? Maybe if I have time to do it, I'll do it tonight. But I figured I'd at least put out the Days of Our Lives review. It seems so. Listen, there's a lot of stuff in this show that's not really making a lot of sense, and yes, that is one of them. Trust me, Black Man, I would love to sit there and put on a beautiful video out. Francis in the chat, how you doing tonight? One of Stefan's last episode and possibly saying, yeah, that's another thing. I just found that out, Spiderquake, literally 30 seconds before I hit the like button. I saw that. You know, and that's the thing, though. The evidence is so flimsy that it's like, yeah, you can totally see that him doing it. But that's the thing, though, Ron. Like I said, EJ could have won that. I don't really The problem with EJ is that I felt like in this episode, it's almost like he never went to law school. Like, and I said this in my review, all he really counted on was the confessions from her towards the other three people, which was flimsy at best. She could have took back those confessions at any point in time. Hell, she even literally sat there and said, "What confessions?" I literally sat there and was like, "Are you kidding me?" But yeah. Sean says, Albert, Do you think GH will put Sam character in the comments to the killing her character off? Maybe a rewrite. Sean, the way that the direction is going, I think that they're going to kill her off. I'll be surprised if they put her in a coma, Sean. With the animosity that I feel towards her in the studio, yeah. Kyrie's Clark, the one and only. What's good, my guy? Kristen says, and I answer your question in 1 minute, Ron. Kristen said, I was only able to watch GH for a few minutes before I turned it off in frustration. This one felt like it was a filler. That was another problem with this episode, Kristen. In a lot of ways, I felt like it was kind of a filler. There was parts that just wasn't really needed. There was parts that wasn't really necessary. Um, so yeah. Ron says, Albert, your thoughts on Kristen encouraging Stefan to fight for his marriage? I was not happy. Why was he not happy for it? it what, Ron? Why was it? It makes total sense. She's not a hypocrite. She's been going after Brady for years and John for years. So like, um, it will make total sense. You see your brother crying. Why would you not sit there and say, yes, you need to sit there and really go after your marriage and fight for your marriage? So I don't really understand why he wasn't happy. It says I remember AJ being a better lawyer than this recast, so character's personality changed. Now, I'm not exactly really too comfortable. I think it's just the writing. I don't think it's necessarily the recast, and I hope they didn't sit there and recast that just for that alone. Small says Albert Stefan is leaving Salem in a truck car. Yes, in the previews, that's very true. He's being kidnapped by his mother, Vivian. Francis says, Albert, do you think Jack and Diane are faking it? I want to believe that, Francis, because I cannot believe if you saw today's episode that Diane was literally like, I want to make them pay. I want to make Jack pay, and I want to make my son pay. Because the truth of the matter is, Francis, they've been snitches saying that she's been power hungry and she's going to show her true colors for a while since she started. So my whole thing is like, really? You just now decide you want to play into that role? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's so goddamn flimsy that I feel I, Francis, I would love if that's what they're doing. And I'll be so disappointed if they're not. No, Kyrie, it was a filler. It was a filler for the most part. The only thing you need to know, Kyrie, is that Brooke walked in on Carter and Hope, making out and about to get it on. That's the only thing you need to know. Everything else is filler. Monique says Carly just sold Jason on a silver platter to Brendan. Could be wrong. How do you figure that? I mean, Mr. Brennan actually really went all out for them. I think that's the least that Jace can do. Sean says, I miss seeing Molly. Molly's been killing it. Molly's been killing it. Harry says, I'm hoping that Phyllis is given a storyline where she's put in prison for a year. That would be awesome. Yeah. D King says because none on B&B knows how to lock doors. Yeah, how many times did RJ get caught and everyone else? I'm like, D King, I thought it was going to be Steffi that was going to see them. Kristen says, I saw your review. Did Alexis happen to tell Diane that she was part of helping Heather get out of trouble? She was the one who put. No, they didn't talk about that, Kristen. They didn't. Their scenes was so filler. Their scenes was so filler. Like I felt like today's episode was not intended the way it was supposed to be. It really wasn't, and I think this has a lot to do with with Kelly Monaco leaving the show. Because honestly, tell you the truth, it's none of her damn business, right? Nancy just comes across as a goddamn nag. As says Albert, they're bringing Trina. Yeah, I heard. I know a lot of people are really excited for that, and I don't know. My expectations is like, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I already see the comments, and I know it's going to be kind of a whirlwind. So, but I'm not gonna lie. I generally love Phyllis. I love Phyllis. Phyllis stands on business. When she saw Diane today, she was like, "Yo, Diane came over just like, hey, listen, I just want to, apologize, and I wish my condolences." Phyllis was like, "No, no, no, we're not doing this because I don't like you, you don't like me, and we don't like each other. Let's let that be clear right off rip." And I love that because Phyllis stands on business. Phyllis is not fake. I love that. Phyllis is there. Phyllis stands on business. I'm gonna take this one. I never liked Phyllis. Yeah, I mean, I get it. She's a very polarizing character. And it's funny too, because in the beginning I wasn't a huge fan of Phyllis. I found her to be pretty annoying. I mean, I wasn't really happy about any of it, right? I mean, I can't sit there and say I was happy. I wasn't gonna be upset about it. It's like they were sitting there poking around, and because they can't sit there and decide on shit, they wind up doing something stupid. Um, Kyrie says Phyllis is a sociopath. Okay. Um, no, I love Phyllis. I mean, we can definitely agree to disagree on that. But Phyllis, she stands on business though. Ivor, I don't get why Xander isn't telling Brady Kristen about her plan. I'm sure he can convince. I didn't think about that. Ivor, I didn't actually think about that. D King says Kelly confirmed that the hand sign she threw up was Abbott. It's an ASL sign for I love you, a call out to the fans and some of the coworkers. I was wondering what that was. Have a good night, Jay Blue. It was really great to see you. And you know what, Ivor, that actually makes perfect sense. I wonder, yeah, because I could have sworn at the review. I was like, once she finds out what Portia did, maybe. Sean says, all right, I just want Trina to move on. I love her with Spencer, but the character's not on the canvas. I just want new things for Trina. My whole thing is like, what annoys me about this whole thing, Sean. This is what annoys me, and I'll sit there and say this much. The fact that people felt like she wasn't going to get a story until Geo came in annoyed me because they should have been gave Trina a story. Trina's story should not necessarily sit there and be depending on a man. Let's just get that out the way. Trina's a great character, and I feel like she could carry a story in general. Do you think Steph got it mixed up with the wrong person on set because Stephanie wasn't pleased? No. I think Stephanie needs to sit there and shut her goddamn mouth down. She went off on Steph talking about, oh, well, this is your fault. I was like, no, boo, this is your fault. Stephanie is the perfect example of somebody who thinks that they're right, who thinks that they're right and they're so smart. And when somebody else comes at them with facts, and I mean hard facts, They stand there and they have that stupid look on their face. She was like, "This is your fault." No, boy, this is your fault. You're supposed to be a professional. Okay, you run PR for this show. Your job is to sit there and do PR. Your job is not to sit there and be banging dudes on set. Your coworkers on set at a goddamn hospital. So when she said that, I was so glad I started doing my Days of Our Lives reviews because I really want to sit there and put my foot on that chick's neck. So I should tell you the truth. I was like, yo, listen, Seth may kind of come across as, pencil pusher and budgets and this, that, and the third, but he was not wrong for Smith there calling out what you call it. It says I'm here for Phillip versus Andrew. Oh, but that's the thing though, Francis. He's starting to act like his father, Francis. He wants her back, right? He was all too ready to sit there and kind of, kick her to the curb because he thought he was going to have a shot with Stephanie. And when Stephanie pretty much like, no, 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 no. I got Finn. He puts it down now. I don't need you anymore. That's when his little slinky ass decides to go back to Hope. But like I said, it, and that's the thing now, Francis. But like I said, just going back to Philip, right about, right about, about Trina. Yeah, I'm like, that's the thing though, Sean. People kept saying, "Oh, when Spencer comes back, that's when Trina's going to get a story." I was like, why does Spencer need to come back for Trina to get a story? Like that's just like idiotic to me. It's frustrating to watch sometimes, Sean, and I get that, especially if you're a Trina fan or you know this. You don't see this getting enough representation. I still will drag Portia through the mud for her comment that was not, you know. Sean says Albert Liam is a cock Thomas. I don't get it, but like I said, Phyllis stands on business, so I rock with Phyllis. And Phyllis is a broken character. She's an imperfect character, and that's what just makes her so amazing. You know, if this was going to be a filler episode, Ron says, but when Kristen went over to Xander would have the cure and he grabbed it, I knew that it has to. Well, here's the thing. I'm actually glad that Philip actually stopped that sale. You know, and like, what is this with Kristen? Now Kristen's having a bad day at work, and she's like, "Oh well, the only way to fix my problems is for me to sit there and require another company, and this way I can be unstoppable." I'm just waiting for her to sit there and twirl her mustache at this point. Like, what am I watching? And yeah, Philip is her other son. Francis said Philip will prove Sharon killed Heather. Yeah, exactly. And then throw her ass in a goddamn loony bin. She decides not to take her meds one day and she becomes everybody else's problem. Oh, Donna. Sean says Albert Liam did nothing when Hope kissed Thomas. He's such a coward. I mean, what was he supposed to do? What's good, Jonathan? The only thing he could do at that point was just walk away. I mean, Sean, what did you want him to do? Fight for hope at that point? No, I want to ask you, what did you thought that he should do, Sean? You thought he should have sat there and fought for her? This is about I get that Xana wants Sarah to wants Sarah to be up, walk, put that she be up to her, especially when she told him that she made her peace and I get it, because at the end of the day, a company is a small price to pay for the woman that you love to be able to regain the use of her legs. You know, I thought they delivered well today. Here's the thing, Jonathan. I would sit there and say days deliver better than General Hospital. The Cliffhanger was good, but when I sat there and I watched it, I was like, okay. Um, well, I respect your opinion, Kyrie's. Um, what was I gonna sit there and say? I'll probably put this in the shorts. I'm not gonna sit there and say, hey, even though people have actually already said it, but I'll talk about it in the short now for people who don't know. But there we go, Jonathan. I was just gonna sit there and say that. Yep, he's out. I saw the comments, and guess how many people was there saying, "Oh, he should come back as what you call it. He should come back as Johnny." It's like, no, 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 no. Y'all got too many people on there. They got way too many people on there. Y'all don't need him to sit there and come back as Johnny. You got too many people on the show. We about to get rid of Emma Sam. We don't need to. No, no. Sean says Daniel getting fingerprint is classic. Yeah, I mean it is Sean, but it's also. I could have swore I asked you a question now. Uh, well, I don't know if you're gonna answer this or not, but you said Albert Liam did nothing when Hope kissed Thomas. He's such a coward. What was he supposed to do? It was out of pocket, and the problem is every time he kept something there talking, it was nothing more. I heard it wasn't his decision; it was the writers. Jonathan, doesn't it sound like somebody else who was like, "Hey, listen, this wasn't her choice. This was the writer's choice." Now you see why I like Body and Soul, Jonathan. Now you see why I kind of like it. Now Donna says, I wonder if GH will have a Sam flashback. New SAG rules say Kelly has to be paid for every flashback, and every time they flashback a photo of her on, say, "Get that money, girl. Get that money, Donna." Queen of the South, how is the Queen doing tonight? Oh, Jonathan, always the optimist. I admire that, Jonathan. I really do. I know it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I really do admire that optimistic spirit in you. Oh shit! Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. Of course, you're not gonna sit there and see how the queen is doing. Jonathan, I saw the who was that person that was dancing, being all animated in the previews. I think he should have confronted Thomas. Okay, I just want to know your answer. Okay. Hey, listen, D King. Donna. Yes. But again, what's really sad though? Jarvis. Oh, okay. I was wondering who that dude was, Jonathan. I was like, yo, you dancing too much, bro. You too animated. Can you kind of sit your ass still for a little bit? Jarvis. Okay, thank you. Um, which that was really crazy though. Again, and before I move on from the Phyllis character, since she's a new character that I just seem to love. She never makes the show boring, but she seems like she's the only person. When she talked to Billy, Billy said the same nonsense. McD is Cody a cousins? Yes. Yes. Oh, Javis. Javi. 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 Okay. Oh, damn, I really wrecked that. Thank you, Jonathan. Um, Javi. The hell that's what they're saying. Thank you, Jonathan. Always appreciate you, my guy. I don't remember what I was to say now. Maybe she tries to save Lulu, who won a set while trying to kill her against Lulu. That'd be really good. That'd be really good. Because then she can go out like a announcement to saying that like her sacrifice isn't brave, and yeah, like Spidey Quake said, um, we are gonna see more stuff of her. Exactly, Kristen. That'd be really cool. We are gonna see more stuff of her next week, and then that is it. Avida says, they say. Oh, that's what I was. Whoa. Oh shit. Okay, I am not done with this. Oh, okay, that's what's up, Jonathan. He needs one. Leo needs one. I'm kind of rooting for that character in a way. But yeah, when Phyllis was Smith there telling Billy that Sharon is the one that killed Heather and is framing him, Billy said the same dumb shit that Nick said. Oh, she wouldn't have it in her to sit. She wouldn't have it in her to sit there and do that. I feel like Phyllis is the only person that's sit there and think with a goddamn brain at this point. And you know when Phyllis is the smartest woman in the room, the smartest person in the room, you know everyone else is cooked. Jonathan, are you cool with this new version? Are you cool with this other version of Philip? Oh, Ed, I know. Ed, you know what he should be thinking about? The last time that Sasha kissed him, and that she knew that there was a possibility that they could be cousins. Hmm. Do you think that Melinda turned the heat on EJ? You know what, Ron? I think that's just another L in his column. That's another L in his bat buckle that he's going to have to sit there and take. Again, I'm starting to wonder: did he even go to law school, or did he just pay to get a degree at this point? Because he relied on flimsy ass evidence at best, and that's what's keeping this damn story going. You saw Fiona chilling. Thank you, Sean. I agree with that. Oh, nice. Okay, McD, he's getting around. That's what's up. Um, what the hell was I talking about? Anyway, just to answer that question, again for the ninth time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would Jonathan, I hope that she can find a way to stay on the show. Because out of all your theories of people that you think is going to come back to the show, I'll be cool if she came back to the show. But Jonathan, I got to give the writers credit though, because in the beginning I was not a huge fan of Philip. Hell, I called him a man child. By the time that original actor that played Philip left, I really liked him. What's your thoughts on Fiona refusing to sign the document? She realized that they didn't really have a case, and she might have actually realized that EJ never actually went to law school. Like that's the truth of the matter. That's just a shame because they should have made Shasha's father anybody because they did all of this to build up the Cody. Well, Ed, from what I understand, it was a last minute decision. This is what I've been hearing from the grapevine. I mean, Ed, in a lot of ways, aren't people getting what they want? Let's put it this way, Ed. Michael's marriage is about to implode. Sasha can't sit there and date Cody anymore, so they get what they want. Johnson says, I think there are plenty of ways to keep Bella, especially with the upcoming passing of John Black. Oh, yes, unfortunately, yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Yeah. Donna says Brandon and Kristen get along, though, even though they're exes, just like Rena Sofer and Wally Kirk. It's a beautiful thing when that can happen. It is. Kristen's never that's for damn sure a last minute pulled out of nowhere storyline. You know, I'm actually okay with it though, Kristen. I know a lot of people are furious with it. A lot of people are like, oh my god, poor Sasha. She can't take much more. And, here's the thing, Kristen. When Sasha goes through stuff like this is when Sasha interests me the most. So I'm totally cool with that. Um Jonathan, I would sit there and say Ava. Caroline Spencer was good. Ava. So why not? She's qualified. Sean says I don't see Willow letting Sasha get Michael. Yeah, like she gotta say in it. Sean, I would love her to sit there and try to stop that shit from happening. Sean, I swear, I would sit there and drag that chick to the mud every single goddamn day to the point that people would get annoyed with me if she pulls some BS like that. Valley Mama Horror Queen, how you doing tonight? It says Bella's a good character. I like to see her and Sammy going at it once in a while. And I have to take your word for it. I came into the game. I came into the game kind of late. When I came in, that's when um, oh, Sammy came in for the last time. So I will take your Sierra was good. Your opinion, Tracy Steves. Happy Friday, love. And Donna has a comment for you. Now Johnson says, well, Willow and Drew haven't slept together. It may not go that far. I think they could bring Dylan back and pair him with Sasha. Yep, they can always do that route. They can always do that route, Jonathan. And I love your wishful, optimistic thinking. I guess for me, I look at it as like it's what they can do and what they most likely will do. I think that's usually you know, what's good, Sierra? Did you see the actor who played Tagger on GH will be cat? Yep, because he's done. He's fucking done, and I don't blame him. And imagine that they pair Cody with Christina. Oof. I'll definitely feel bad for Cody at that point. Black Mom said just finished bowl really Brooke saying that shit. Looking but Black Mon, did you not sit there and think it was gonna be Stephanie? Tracy says, so do you think Robert really is her father? Do you think no? I think that's gonna be canon. I think that's gonna be canon, Tracy Steves. That's going to be canon. And I'm totally okay with it. I think that's gonna be canon. So you should have seen Sammy versus our older sister Carrie. Now that was a show, especially when Rafe was trying to get with Carrie. Yeah, it seemed like I missed out on a lot of stuff, but I don't know. I was also watching General Hospital at that time, so it's like I missed out on a lot of good stuff, but I did get a lot. I did get. It's like a double-edged sword, if that makes sense. Do you think maybe Holly is just trying to hold onto a piece of Robert that doesn't exist? Tracy, do you want that to be the case though? Let me ask you a question, Tracy. Do you want that to actually be the case? Like, do you want that to be the case? Johnson says, what did you take of the Steve and Heather scene? I thought it made sense that Steve was not there telling I thought it made sense that Steve was not there telling Heather that you don't have anything for this town. Like, you don't have a future in this town anymore. Because it made total sense. Who's gonna sit there and hire this woman? Like she literally and I know we're like with Shield and stuff like that, it's similar, but I felt like it was more gruesome with Heather, and I just don't see longevity of her being in that town. So I didn't think it was super great. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, I loved it, but like it made sense. Ron says, Albert, how will the others react if Deacon shit? God, I'm not answering this shit. Like Ron, I could have swore I answered that question like 4 times. I think it'll be a miracle of science. That's my answer, Ron. It'll be a miracle of science. I don't think they're not gonna. It's not gonna. They're not gonna be upset about it. They're not gonna be like perturbed by it. They're just gonna be like, you know. Joshua says, "Do you think Heather will actually leave town?" No, I think she should leave town, Jonathan, but I don't think that she will though, because you gotta sit there and remember, Portia did a lot to actually, like, she risked her job, she risked her career. You know what I'm saying? Like, she risked a lot. For Heather to sit there and just leave town, it would just be so much of an easy out for. portion. So no, I don't. I had to think about that question for a minute. Moses, I got good news. The Spider-Man 4 movie is coming in July 2024, 2026, and Tom said the idea of Spider-Man 4 is crazy. And it's a little different from anything he has done before. That's cool. If he's excited, I'm excited for it. So that's what's up. Donna said no way Heather can just roam around Port Charles after what she did if Josh had been working at Bobby's. But that's what Smith is saying. Like, yes, by all, yes, Donna, by all accounts, her ass should be gone because I don't see a future for her staying there. But I see her staying there just to bother people, just to unsettle people, if that makes sense. That makes sense, Donna. Jillian, you've been missed. How have you been? Damn. His half black son. What? I didn't even know he had a son. What's good, Big Nate? That's good. That's something to look forward to, Jonathan. As says Holly was getting on my nerves, trying to get Cody to leave and said just it's funny, and I said the same thing in my review. If you watched my review, I'm assuming you watched my review. So yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, that would have been much more faster to just get him away from her. Julian says Johnny knows now how bad he messed up. Yeah, he does, and I don't feel bad for him because it's like he said the worst things. Okay, so he said the worst thing, Julian. He said the worst thing you could possibly sit there and say to somebody that you claim to love, and then he sat there. He made excuses. Julian, it was already bad enough that he said all those horrible things. Now you're sitting there saying, but you can see how I connected to dots. You can see how I actually went to this conclusion. No, I don't. I thought you were a grown adult that could sit there and have a genuine conversation with me and for me to sit there and put your mind at ease. Jillian, you got to sit there and look at a situation like that and be like, at what point did the trust get broken? At what point did he lose either trust in her or trust in himself? That is the Yeah, Sean. Sean, her decisions don't really make a lot of sense. She isn't there giving Cyrus Renault another chance. She's talking about how it's complicated. What's good, LaShanta? It ain't complicated, Sean. She is saying that it's a complicated relationship between her and Cyrus. Cyrus, Lulu is in that bed because of Cyrus. And all she's there saying is, could you call me next time before you decide to go visit Lulu? That's your advice? That's your advice for the man who put your daughter in a coma? Like, I'm sorry, I know I cannot be the only person that's not there. Yeah, Joey, yep. News travels. And from what we understand, it wasn't his choice. Yep, and that's another reason why I don't feel bad for him. Because he pushed, he pushed for he pushed to get her that job. And I'm like, even when he was at that meeting, He was just saying, "Yeah, you're gonna have to sit there and do a kiss. You're gonna have to do this. You got to do that." He didn't want to do that, but I'm like, bro, she was happy at the bakery. I mean, she was fulfilled, but like, she was cool at the bakery. Oh, that's cool. No, I didn't see the first one, but it's cool. Maybe if I like the first one, I'll see the second one. Yeah, Ron, I felt like Paulina was out of pocket for sitting there partially blaming Abe. But of course, Ron, I'm like, she's a partial dingbat at times, so I'm not really too surprised by her sitting there saying some stupidness like that. DC Soap Sanctuary. The man with the plan, the man who single handedly got a daytime icon show canceled. Oh my goodness, you're saying a bakery can fulfill someone? She didn't seem like she was that. You see, that's what I'm sitting there saying. I love how you actually put words in my mouth. Oh my goodness, DC or something else. I gotta text you though. You know what? Screw it, DC. Since you're in the chat, are you gonna come through for the Halloween collab that we got going on? Have a good night, Francis. It was a pleasure to see you. Anyway, DC, um, you coming through the collab? Eagle Fang. Yep, that's right, Eagle Fang. World travels fast. Yeah. LaShanta says, I hope Phyllis asked for a DNA test. For what? You know what? Yes. Put me on TB for, I don't know what that means. To be determined. Okay. All right. You let me know. I got you. You know, Kristen, I've said that a long time ago. Nancy and Joy come back to days and not be spoiled about it. I didn't see it coming. Yeah, it's always nice to sit there and not be spoiled by that stuff. I get it. Julian says it's interesting that Philip and Xander are brothers now considering how much they can sing. I mean, was it really that much different than when they were cousins? Was it good, Amber? It was. It was definitely out of pocket and like she had this little stink attitude. I didn't like how she came as Seth. I had a problem when she came as Seth because Seth is somebody who I rarely see. But for her to sit there and blame Seth for that whole debacle shows you a certain level of immaturity that she clearly still has. Uh, Eagle Fang, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm doing good, Amber. Sean says I was Stephanie's character was destroyed by Ava. Hmm, I'll take your word for it. Um, I mean, it was also destroyed by bad writing. If you really want to sit there and go there. Oh, in 2 days. Oh, there's the previous one. I'm gonna watch it tonight. It is actually on my in my history, so I'm actually gonna sit there and watch it. Eagle, let me ask you a question. Before I watch the previews, do they show too much? Well, Eagle, do they show too much in the previews? Like, did it spoil? Did you feel like it spoiled it for you? Oh, come, yeah. Do you think that it spoiled it for you? Lashanta, it's totally okay to sit there and send for a woman if she's hot. That's the exception. Okay, good, Eagle Fiend. I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm watching no previews for Cobra Kai. That's what I'm afraid of, Ed. That's exactly what I'm afraid of. Oh, come on, DC. I don't think it's really that serious. Johnson says and broke walk in on Hope and Cara today, and she was shook. Yeah, but I felt like it would have been so much. Well, I guess they're gonna build that up though. They're gonna build that up. When Steffi does find out, because you saw that Steffi in that meeting, she was pretty much like, "Nope, this is too much. This is not what we normally do. This is a big risk." And here's the thing, though, Jonathan. I was with Carter's plan until you circle back around to that failing ass line of hope for the future. Jillian, unfortunately, it's not just, yes, it is a lot of Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, but like, I'm sorry, Speed 3? Kristen, did you just say Speed 3? DC, DC, DC. Is DC being sassy with me tonight? I wonder. I didn't even read this yet, and I feel like DC is being sassy. DC said you're afraid of spoilers for Cobra Kai, yet spoil folks with GH your thumbnails. It reminds me of. Okay, first of all, those two things are so not the same, DC. I can sit there and literally break that down on how wrong you are with that after I answer these two questions. Oh, so yeah, he's not just messy, he is wrong on so many levels. DC, do you really want me to do it to you tonight? As says, I wonder what are they going to do with Fiona now? That's a damn good question. All right, let me. DC, I guess I get. I'm sorry, DC. I'm gonna have to sit there and cook you tonight. Eagle fan says Blue Streak 2 is in production, announced by Martin himself. I love Martin, but he is beyond his years of glory. But if the previous looks solid, I'll watch. Oh, previews. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the first Blue Streak. It's messy means standing up for the truth. First of all, okay, DC, let me tell you just how wrong you are. By the way, I'm sorry for the fans of DC. This is my dude. I love DC, but I'm gonna have to sit there and kind of chop him down a little bit. DC, what do I always sit there and say? I am not gonna sit there and account for people who did not sit there and is behind on the show. If you're 2 days behind on the show, if you're 3 days behind on the show, that is a you problem. It comes on when it comes on. This is not like The Young the Restless. If I'm talking about stuff for tomorrow and it's not normally aired tomorrow, it normally aired today. It happened today. We're talking about it. If you didn't catch up to it, that's a you problem. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but that's different from talking about a previews, and previews will tend to show a little bit too much. Yes, it is your fault. You didn't watch. Well, DC, you didn't watch today's episode. So if you didn't watch today's episode, then whose fault is it then? What am I supposed to do? Not sit there and talk about today's episode because you didn't watch it? So you're saying, DC, I'm not supposed to sit there and talk about today's episode because you didn't watch it. I'm not supposed to show a thumbnail because you didn't watch it, even though other people did, but you didn't watch it, so we shouldn't sit there and do it. Kind of sounds like main character syndrome. Is that what that is, DC? He's talking about gaslighting. I have no idea what he's talking about. LaShanta says, Albert, where's all the money coming from? Where's all the money coming from? Yeah, that's what I thought, DC. Where's all the money coming from? What are you talking about, Albert? Where's all this money coming from? What are you talking about? Sean says it's a shame Gwen left. She could have been. I like Gwen in general. So, Sierra, what did I say in the beginning? Or did I not sit there and say I'm sorry to the DC fans? Oh, I get what you're saying. You're pretty much like, where's all this money that's going to come from? He wants to find investors. Lashanta, he did sit there and say that he wants to find investors. You want to inquire, I'm trying to win the whole trial. Yeah, good luck with that, DC. Let me know how that works out for you. I'm sorry, DC. I've been drinking a little bit. So if I'm getting a little extra sassy, I love you, DC. Um, I mean, he did sit there and say that he wanted. Oh, Kyrie, she's on vacation. Tracy says you sound like you have kids. It's not my fault. I'm just saying, Tracy. You know I'm not wrong. Robert is the poor Charles DA, and I'm Diane Miller. Diane always wins in the end. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Um, but no, Lashanta, he wants to sit there and get investors. He wants the other people to sit there and I'm gonna get to your question in 1 minute, Ed. He wants the other members to sit there and back him. Hell, Lashanta, he said that he was gonna put in his own money. So I get what Steffi's saying, but like Carter's saying, you gotta be bold and you gotta be innovative. And if he's willing to put his own money into this, then he's showing this company how how much he believes in it. That's how Bill got into Forrester. Eric got a loan, and because he was, I think, 5 minutes late. Oh, okay. But no, Carrie, she's on a vacation now. Okay, Ed, now what's your question? But maybe now they can finally flesh out Aaron's character now that Mark and Kat are caught. I hope they do something with them, Ed, because I'm not really too thrilled about them. But if they make them compelling characters, then I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. You know, Jonathan, I gotta look at that again. I could have sworn him Smith is saying that he don't want to be friends. I completely missed that part, Jonathan. I thought he said that he didn't want to be friends. So what I thought wound up happening was she didn't tell him the truth. She just pretty much kind of backed off the relationship. So thank you, Jonathan. I gotta sit there and look at that last clip again. I would love that. Sean Gladys was messy as and what's good, Valerie? What's good, Valerie? I'm sorry, Valerie. I had to sit there and kind of get at your boy DC for a minute. He maybe he was drinking or something like that, or he was tired, and he got a little out of line, and I had to sit there and kind of Oh shit! I wrote it down too. I didn't get a chance to look at it. I'm gonna try to watch it tonight. Thank you. What's good, Dolomedics? Was I drinking last time? I think I might have been drinking. Maybe I kind of forgot, but I actually really, it's funny too, Jonathan, because the Vampire Diaries is actually on Peacock. So ugh. I was never a fan of that series. DC says Sam Drake, and yeah, he's the one with the mysterious red cup. I know, but the difference is DC. I'm pretty sure I can actually hold my liquor. I don't know about you. Oh, it's funny, Kristen. I'm a horror fan, so I love creepy commercials. Lashanta says Hopeson and Carter out. You mean that? Rashad, is that your way to saying that Hope is going to get Carter fired? Because if that's the case, then yes. Jillian says, "I have no interest at all in the Holly taste." And thank Jesus Christ, thank you, Jillian. Jillian said, "What's your favorite horror movie?" Probably The Exorcist. Jillian, I would sit there and say The Exorcist because that should actually crease me out. Jillian, so I would sit there and say The Exorcist. And it says, Albert, do you think Holly's going to try to take Tate back or move on and battle Sophia as a rival? I mean, either way, I'm not going to enjoy it because it involves Sophia. So, um, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be miserable without the outcome. DC says Albert is an extra gaslighter, one of the best in the business. You know, it's funny, DC. I didn't even actually know what gaslighting was until a couple of days ago. Ron, I'm pretty sure I'm never going to have my tissues out for Sophia in any setting at all whatsoever. Ron, there's never going to be a day I'm going to have tissues out for Sophia ever. So Kyrie said, "I just finished watching Days and T. Philip already. Sarah's not that damn important. God damn, I refuse to lose, lose my millions just for just for her. Get that trick a pillow for her chair and keep it moving." Well, well, damn. Kyrie keeps it raw. Jesus fucking Christ. Oof. I felt like reading Kyrie's comment was like drinking whiskey at that point. Johnson says, "What do you think of Fiona escaping the charges?" Jonathan, you know what I think of that? It makes me question if EJ actually has a law degree. That's what it makes me think of. It makes me wonder, does he actually have a law degree? Sean says Albert is Aaron an option for Holly? Yeah, absolutely. They're both in high school. Why not? Well, DC, you do that for love. You do that for love, DC. Man, Kyrie was just. Oof. Oh, Ed, yes. When she was this thing, when Heather was like, I'm not gonna sit there and be able to stay with you, and I hope that you're okay with that. She looked like she was about to start bursting into tears with laughter. Well, thank you, Ron. I will definitely go out and find my cardboard cutout of Nikisha Moore. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, she can get a job at the bistro, Jonathan. I'm pretty sure Stefan don't. Oh, never mind. I can't tell if DC's actually joking. If DC, are you trolling me right now? Autumn says, "Hey, Albert, when Brooke walked in on Hope and Carter, I'm like, bro, if you're going to do that nasty, don't do it in the office where everyone could walk in. They should have at least locked the doors in the first place." Yes, and I agree with that. I agree with that 100%, Autumn. And it's funny, too, because I was listening to this in a Black One. I was like, I should wind up doing a review on it. Yes, thank you, Doll Medics. I'm pretty sure it's probably 12 in the afternoon, and this chick don't even have to sit there and hide her drinking anymore because um, Carissa Sophia is the future. She's going to be here for years to come. Yeah, that sounds fucking horrible. But I respect your opinion, though. Absolutely, Sean. Aaron is an option. Lashanta says, I bet Brooke doesn't tell Hope that's inappropriate. Oh, she gonna tell her that's inappropriate. You wanna put money on that, Lashanta? You wanna put money on you wanna put money on the sit there and say, you know, I don't wanna do that, never mind. I was, Harry says in 2025, Aubrey's gonna be a fan of Sophia. Tommy! Carice, guess who you're gonna be a fan of? Carice, Carice, guess who you're gonna be a fan of? I want to play this game too. Carice, who are you gonna be a fan of in 2025? Absolutely, Sean. I mean, absolutely, Tommy. Her ass belongs under the jail. Have a good night, Kristen. Don't keep me in suspense, Carice. How the hell with her right now? What? Ooh, okay, okay. All right, let's see who Kyrie's gonna sit there and pick. As says EJ should have had Fiona written a confession when he took her and took his chances, and the court got to that banter as a bartender as a witness because, ooh, you know, Tommy, I'm actually surprised and kind of disappointed. Oh, I got, I got broken heart syndrome. I want everyone in the chat to sit there and read this shit. Damn, Ron, you know me too well. Blackmail says you missed my comment. It was sexy. Oh, it was sexy. Hold on. Carrie says she's gonna claim I'm gonna be a big fan of. God damn, guys, you're too smart for anything good. But yes, you're on point on that one. Did your comment disappear? Why did it move? You know, Black Man, I hate missing out on a sexy comment, but I can't see it for some reason. Well, Black Man, if you could write it again, that would definitely be help. That would definitely be helpful. I was literally waiting with bated breath for Kyrie's comment, which I'm pretty sure he's going to wind up cooking me in his own chat, which is fine. No, I love Phyllis though. Oh, that movie scared me. Yeah, that no, The Exorcist is a scary ass movie. The Exorcist, yeah, no. If that wasn't it, I don't know what it is, but no, that movie scares the shit out of me. Anything that's related, that's very relevant to like true life, will really get me. Ron says, "Are there others in the chat? Did you hear about Cardi B medical condition?" Perry says, "I can hear your voice saying now you know it's crazy. In the beginning, I really couldn't stand this Sophia chick, but now I really like her. She's killing it." You know, Kyrie, no one can predict the future, so you could be right. But you know, Kyrie, you know who I'm really loving right now? You know who I'm really loving right now? She's really tall, red hair, fiery spirit. LaShawn says Lulu Spencer will recover from her surgery. Yes. Dominic says, did you see the cast of Timor? I saw something on Instagram. I mean, I saw something on Instagram talking about it. Um, so maybe if I have some time, I'll sit there and take a look into it. I haven't actually really did any videos or talked about the gates since that one video. I'm pretty sure she won, Jonathan. What's good, Johan? Black one says hoping cars should have made out on top of a car in the rain on a hot day, be sexy and adventurous. That is my dream on doing it. Well, that is pretty sexy then. Damn, Black man. That's hot. Mel says I got good news that Creep Tapes horror series is coming. Number 15th on Hulu. Oh, okay, cool. I got Hulu. Five back as oh, series? I don't know if I have time to watch a series. I could watch a movie, but I've been trying to get into a lot of. I'm gonna try and get into a lot more movies now. What's good, Johan? How is the world treating you? Yeah, I do. I do too, Tracy. I'm not a huge fan of her, but I wouldn't wish harm on her. So, that's the thing, Tracy. For the most part, most of the people I can, even if I don't like them, I wouldn't wish harm on them. You know, I feel like that's like a very one, it's just bad karma, and two, it's just bad character. Well, I mean, Sean. Okay, now Sean says, why did they bring Lulu back? Did anyone ask for her at the cost of Sam's character? Let's put it this way, Sean. Sam's character was going. Okay, Kelly Monica was going. It didn't matter how. It didn't matter what circumstance. Her ass was being gone. Her ass was being fired. So they kind of put that on Lulu. Is like you want to sit there and blame somebody? You can sit there and blame like I don't know, maybe Frank. You could blame the producers. Oh, what are you writing? You know what, Carius? I am looking forward towards that stream. I am. You know what? I, Carius, you sure you want to do this? You sure? You sure you want to sit there and do the stream? I'm talking about this whole. You know, I mean, let's be honest. You kind of dancing on Sam's character's grave. You sure you want to do this, Carius? You sure you want to? You don't want to pull out? Ron says Tate and Brady can't keep a woman for long. Next, maybe Felicity gets with Tate. Oh yeah, sure, why not? She's getting she's getting Sam's character's liver. Yeah, but I mean, she would still be like the uh, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of bad judo to sit there and blame Lulu for Sam's character being killed off. It's like that's more of a executive decision, maybe. I don't know. But you know what, Sean? I respect your opinion. And honestly, tell you the truth, Sam's character is not really worth going back and forth over. If I'm going to be honest, her character is so not worth going back and forth over. Harry says, I was waiting with bated breath from Dinner says I'm going to do that title. I'm not a puss. I mean, it's not about being a. Sean says, peace. Yeah, I'm just like, Sean, I can sit there and debate a lot about a lot of things. She's not one of those characters. But Sean, you know how I am. I always agree to disagree on things. I mean, Carrie, it's not about being a puss. It's just, um, If you want to do it, that's fine. Just I'll back you. I'll back you 100% on whatever you want to do. I don't want you to do it because I'm goading you into doing it. Like I goaded somebody else into doing something that I knew was going to backfire on them. Harry says, besides the Young and Restless is a big draw from my channel, anyways. I've seen that. Thank you, Jonathan. Beyond the Gates will have at least three main families: the Richardsons, the Hamiltons, and the Thomases. Well, first of all, thank you, Jonathan. And second of all, um, Jonathan, how do you feel about this show? Like, I guess for me, like I sat there and I looked at James' video, and James is not there. Like, I'm going to just be very cautious about it. Like, I feel like people are putting a lot of pressure on the show, and if it does not align perfectly, then people are going to be super hypercritical about this show. And I'm kind of just like, I want my expectations to be somewhere in the middle because I don't think it's going to be the best soap opera off the gates. I don't think it's going to be the best soap opera off jump. Um, I think it could be a good soap opera if the writing's good. I think maybe some people may give it more of a chance because of the diversity factor. But I think other people are going to be very quick to sit there and cut it off. It's like, oh my God, this show is not interesting in the first episode. Remember, DC gave it 5 episodes, which I think is a little kind of, much. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Lushanta says EJ needs to be fired. Well, with all those losses that, yeah, I guess he'll just add that to another L column in his records. Lashanta says, "I'll bet Brady, Sarah, Xander, Seth, Fiona confess to them. Why do EJ let her go? Because it's not enough, Lashanta. They're not law enforcement. She can always sit there. It's Here's the thing. It's her word versus Brady, who was drunk out of his mind. Sarah, who kept sitting there flip flopping with her story, and you know, they're not exactly reliable witnesses. That's what it comes down to, Lashanta. Curry says, well, the gays have two great things going for them. No Phyllis and no Nikki Newman. It's kind of a drawback for me, but okay. I love Phyllis Summers. Love that woman. Fiery redhead that always keeps it interesting. Johnson says, well, Bob Guza will be one of the writers. So I got that going for him. Blackmon says I give it 12 and it's a wrap. I feel like it will be another generation soap. Wow. Well, Blackmon, you're being a little more generous than DC, so that's cool. You try to push Sarah down a flight of steps. And who saw that? Push out the who saw that? She could sit there and say she didn't do it. Nothing actually happened to her. That's the thing, LaShanta. There's what you know, and then there's what you can prove. Hmm. It reminds me of that movie with Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke got Training Day. There's what you know, and then there's what you can prove. Yeah, we know that she did that. Xana was there, so. So what? Santa was there. That doesn't mean anything. Like, again, there's what you know and then there's what you can prove. Johnson says our beyond the gates could potentially have their own Sonny Corinthos. Well, it's Bob Cruiser writing this, so yes. Imagine the backlash if I did a celebration of Nicky Newman's the one that leaves. You wouldn't get a backlash, Kyrie's. I would be heartbroken though, Kyrie's, if Nicky Newman left. I'd be more heartbroken if Phyllis left than Nicky Newman. As said, the problem with Beyond the Gays is that peer pressure, I mean, pressure people going to put it because black families are the lead and they're going to want next land. That's yes. I feel like the expectations are going to be a little bit too high, and there's so yeah. I agree with him on that part. Wait. What's going on, Kyrie? I just looked at the time. Are you doing your members live or is that tomorrow? I just thought about that. Yo, I don't know, see him. Oh, okay, 10 o'clock. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Oh, guys, when I looked at your last poll, it was tied between two shows. Um, Days of Our Lives and General Hospital. Blackmon says 10. 10 what? Blackmon says they're going to be harsh if the soap does not start out good. Yeah. Cherry Ice Cream says if the gays have a good storyline and good characters, it will keep our attention. So is yeah, I mean that's the basics, Cherry Ice Cream. Also, again, I said this in the beginning, but um I'm sorry that you are actually having insomnia. That sucks. I get it every now and then, and I get it on the worst times when I gotta be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Donna says my skeptic with the gays is it based in DC. Most shows don't get the city vibe right. I say that as someone who grew up and worked in DC. Okay. Ron says, but why did you accept being a godfather of Cardi B? Okay. Ron, you're too much, my guy. You're too much. I'm a little bit, I like the alcohol is actually starting to take effect, so I'm not going to bother to read the rest of that nonsense. But yeah, no, it sucks for your screen. Because sometimes, let's put it this way, Cherry Screen. There's sometimes where I will get insomnia and I will go to what is called desperate measures. And then when the desperate measures don't work, I know that I am. So I totally get it, cherry ice cream. I like to call that the nuclear option, but I feel your pain though. Terry says Nikki Newman, I did the same thing I'm going to do with Sam, but to be honest, I probably won't do that with Nikki because she die hard more than the likely the actress would do, so I won't on her. But yeah, exactly, Black Month. 3:45 in the morning is no joke. I'm actually going to be getting up tomorrow. Well, I'm actually going to be getting up tonight or tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the morning because I want to try to catch the Young and Restless before I start work. But I had that a couple weeks ago, Black Month, and Black mind, what it really comes down to, it starts to really mess with your mental health. Like it really starts to play on that, and that's what I hate. That's what I hate, Black mind. That's what I hate. Why Diane tell Victor? You know what? I'm not. Have a good night, Sean. Thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I don't really understand that, Lashanta. See, this is my whole thing. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm hoping that it's a ruse, that it's some sort of plan to sit there and try to trick Victor into his false sense of security. Because if it's not, then, well, first of all, Lashanta, then I'm wrong, and I don't like to be wrong. That Diane came to town and she was everything that everyone sat there and said. Harry said, but Sam don't get that grace from me. What did you say in the beginning? You said something in the beginning, and it was raw. But yeah, it does. It does. Black Mom. There's very few things I like to sit there. Oh yeah, yeah. It was like drinking whiskey. I read that comment like I was drinking whiskey. And if you ever drink whiskey before, you know exactly how strong that shit is. Harris, you're one of a kind, and I mean that in the most positive way. But I'll say that much. Well, well, Ron, I'm glad one of us would enjoy that torturous scene. I saw the previews for us. It's actually really funny. Not only did I see that, but I knew that you were going to say something about Sophia and that particular nasty ass scene. But, I accept it in these soap operas that there's going to be characters that you're not going to like, and they're just there. I don't never sit there and say that I hate a character because I feel like that's just taking a step a little bit too far. But you know, yeah, I love Phyllis Summerstone. It's true though. Why the hell would I lose my billions for her ass? Because Kyrie's, you're in love, okay? Kyrie's, because you're in love and you would do anything for that person. You would do it without a second thought, without a hesitation, because that person is your whole world. That's why you would do it. And it says, about how long do you think until Chanel going to find out about Joy and Johnny? I want to know what did Joy and Johnny do? Love don't pay the bills. Oof, sounds kind of depressing. I mean, I'm all up for for being cynical and everything, but that sounds, you know, just saying. What in the? I was just looking at one of the thumbnails that you put up. Thank you, Lashad. See, we eventually come to characters that we like. I rock with Phyllis. Phyllis is a firecracker, okay? She's a fighter, you know? She'll stand for her kids. She'll stand for what she believes. She stands for love, okay? Phyllis is the type of person that will turn an ordinary day to an extraordinary day because that's just who she is. But she's real. She don't like you, she'll sit there and tell you that. She'll stand on business and she won't be fake. And I don't care how much you don't like Phyllis. You got to sit there and respect the woman's honesty. Hell, I didn't really know how much about Jack at the time, and I felt like she brought an extra zest to Jack's life. Well, Lashanta, she needs to sit there and get some therapy and be, put behind bars. I mean, I know DC would sit there and say that she's a good woman and everything. And I'm like, okay, your definition of good people is very something at the time. Ron says, Albert, it's okay to dislike certain characters, but I'm not going to attack an actual person because I don't think. Well, of course not, Ron, because you're not a nut job. You are my jester, and that's an entirely different thing. But yeah, Carrier says, I can't pay my rent with love. I can't pay my tuition with love. I can't pay my loans with love. But with billions, I can buy Sarah some good equipment. Paris, are you serious about this? Like, I just want to know, like, are you playing like a character? Or are you actually being serious? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. I want to know you serious about that. Oh, okay. Well, that's Paris. That's I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of hard. That's kind of heartbreaking. But that's you know, your opinion. Michelle says Joy saved her sister Chloe's life when she had cancer. Yeah, bone marrow transplant. And ever since then, she's been looking at her mom like she's feel like she's been less than. You know, like her mom just used her for spare parts. And I get that. I'm like, oh, you need therapy. I was already kind of over it, to be honest. Okay, Kyrie's. Okay. We're going to talk more about that in a member stream, Kyrie's. Maybe we'll talk more about that, your feelings about that in the member stream. We'll go into that more. Not gonna do that here. Fuck me. Okay. All right. I'm gonna end the stream here because I do gotta wake up. Not as early, but kind of as early. I'll sit there and take my ass to bed now. But I do want to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you for your patience. I couldn't do it yesterday because one, I needed a bit of a rest time to kind of refresh. I'm kind of taking some notes from Kyrie's. And two, I did have to wake up super early. So have a good night, cherry ice cream. Have a good night, Ed. Have a good night, Kyrie's. Always a pleasure to see you, cherry ice cream. Have a good night, Donna. Have a good night, Ronnie Ron. Have a good night, Lashanta. Have a good night, Jonathan. Have a good night, Dolometics. Have a good night, Lashanta. Have a good night, Blackmon. Have a good night, McD. Have a good night, Donna. Um, fuck. Have a good night, LaShawn. Lashanta. Have a good night, LaShawn. Have a good night, Queen of the South. Have a good night, Jonathan. Have a good night, Melly Mel. There we go. Have a good night, LaShawn. This is my guy right there, Jonathan. Have a good night, Melly Mel. Have a good night, Jonathan. Um, Join us next time for another edition of Soap Chat. Have a good night and hit the like button on your way out. This time I actually beat you to it. Thank you, though. Surprised I actually remember some of that stuff since I'm. Uh, that sucks. I feel like I need more now. Johnson says, join us next time for another edition of Soap Chat with Albert Bostic. Good night. Hit the like button on your way out. Thank you, Cherry Ice Cream. You have a lovely weekend. If I don't see you in the members, hopefully you can be a member. I will see you next week. Ron says good night sometimes when you don't come on because you have Nikisha and See, chat, this is why I love what I do. Ron says, good night. Sometimes you don't come on because you have Nikisha Moore in the other room. It was a secret, Ron, but I guess you just let the cat out the bag, huh, Ron? You're the first here, people. You're the first. Keisha, the jig is up. I tried, but Ron is just way too smart clever for us. Laters.